Did Gamescom Opening Night Live deliver? We're breaking down the big reveals from this and Gamescom, what worked, what didn't, and asking what really makes a great games showcase. Plus, in this week's Pixel Picks Showdown, we're crowning the best art style game. All this and more on this week's Pixel Parents Podcast. Hello and welcome to the next episode of the Pixel Parents Podcast, the show that discusses all things gaming from the perspective of parents. I am your host, Liam Kirkkelvin, and today I'm of course joined by the bearded one, Scott, the tastemaker. Curry, how are we, Scott?
Good evening, everyone. The usual conversation about the weather, please.
Oh God,
it's better. Let's just leave it there. It's better than it has been, and I can finally sleep under a duvet, which feels great. But yeah, I'm certainly here. I'm ready to talk about all things Gamescom and games coming in the not so distant future, but also games that are coming in the next year or so. Yeah. And I'm very excited to have that conversation with you.
Well, you know, it's I can exclusively reveal that we weren't there.
Yes, we definitely did not get our hands on the Xbox ROG whatever it is. And yeah, if we hadn't heard on the internet, Silksong might not have been confirmed to be real. So, I mean, you didn't hear it here first. You heard it here the 5th, 6th, maybe 7th.
Yeah, I suppose we should kick off like we're recording this before the Silksong thing because I don't care. I just don't care. It's one of those ones. I'll come to it in a minute as to why I don't care. But it's just not a game for me. But yeah, there's still another day or two to go through Gamescom, but so we're kind of just talking about the biggest things that's been announced because really it's just for all the lucky ducks on there to go and enjoy the community and go play some of these cool new games. And there might be the odd announcement here and there, but if so, yeah, I think the biggest ones have got out the road. But yeah,
Pretty
but
much.
I have a bone to pick.
Can we just to say Liam didn't like Hollow Knight Silksong before it was cool to not like it?
Yes, I've been you can go back and listen to me on this show. Listen, to each their own. But this is what leads me to have a bone to pick. I think the heel turn has happened now, Scott. This is now me introducing myself as the final da. That's it. That's who I am. Because I can't. Like we put out stuff about Battlefield 6. I thought I was very, very balanced last week. Very balanced, each to their own. But still, the internet come at me. They come at me, Scott. And to which I say, it was terrible. It was awful. COD is better. Come at me. The final dad, sick of this crybaby nonsense. That's it. Fair enough. You've pushed me to this. This is my origin story, so I've turned evil. Scott's now the nice guy.
I'm the
bad guy in this.
The face of this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
What to live the gimmick.
Yeah.
I'm all for it, to be honest with you. I've not angered the community in a while, so if you want to take on the entire Battlefield community, then, on you go, mate. I'll leave it to you.
Bother.
No, 1v1 me on Avalon, bro.
Yeah. I mean, joking aside, we did give that another go. And
I think I had a better time with it.
Weekend. Do you know, I did have more success with it, as I mentioned. Not a scrub on these shooters. It just was boring. I don't know what it is, man. There's something about it. It's like, man, I am in 2014 right now, and I'm having a very mid time. But yeah, it is what it is. But its biggest competitor. That's one of the many games that we'll be talking about on this show. But before we do, I suppose we should get some housekeeping out of the road, shall we, Scott? So, for those listening, this is the Pixel Parents Podcast, the weekly podcast by parents who game for those who do the same, where each week we discuss all things gaming whilst raising little ones. Now, every Friday you can listen and see your old dads talk video games on YouTube, Spotify and Apple Podcasts, so please subscribe to us on YouTube if you're not there already, so you don't miss our mugs. Now, if you want to be part of the podcast, come say hello and share your thoughts with us at pixelparents.bsky.social on Blue Sky, or write to us at pixelparentspodcast@gmail.com. And if you like what you hear and you want to support the show, you can leave a wee 5-star review, share this podcast online with your friends. That really helps us out. And of course, thank you to everybody that joins us each and every week. So, without the way, Scott, let's get into it. We're going to be talking, first of all, about everything that's been happening from Gamescom, starting off with Opening Night Live. The Sunday night heat of the Jeff Keighley shows, some would argue. The one that's not really got the biggest announcements through the years, but yeah, it was here. It kicks things off at Gamescom, the world's biggest gaming conference, whatever you might call it. And yeah, it's there was a lot in there. It was a big old show, Scott. But before we go into the specifics, overall, what did you make of that Opening Night Live this year?
I don't really know what to make of it, to be honest with you. I do apologise if there's a slight delay in my answer because my internet has just shat the bed all of a sudden.
Okay.
However, I'm still here.
Thinking.
I never really know what to think about when I'm going into these things. You know, is it just an extension of the current Jeff Keighley? You know, the Jeff Keighley dishes that he gives us. You know, is it just an extension of the Game Awards and Summer Games Fest? Is this just, as you say, it's Raw, SmackDown, and this is now Sunday Night Heat, which is a very apt comparison. But I don't really know. I didn't have any expectations getting into this because I don't really know what to expect. I feel like I don't really take Gamescom into consideration, but I feel like you are probably more in tune with what to expect with these kind of things. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I mean, Opening Night Live's always been something that I'd never really say I'll go out my way to look forward to it. But when it pops along, I'm like, all right, cool. We're at that time of year. It's usually round about when my birthday is, that season. And I'm like, right, okay, it's time to watch it. And I never expect much. Nobody really does, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
But I always appreciated through the years, at least Jeff was trying to make a stab at it. And coming away from it, was it the best showcase I've seen? No. But was it a better Opening Night Live than I've seen before? Yes. I think they had, content-wise, there was a lot more games in here that I was excited about. There was ones in there I was glad to see more of. But ultimately, I feel that maybe this is something that doesn't need to be televised. It's something like, just make it smaller, just do it for the people on the show floor, and that's really it. But I get that's not how the world works because it's a marketing opportunity, and we've got to make these beats, especially in lieu of E3, which of course Jeff cheekily referenced at the start of the show, which is funny. I thought he's finally done it. It's kind of like he's breaking his own kayfabe, but because that has been definitely, he's taking advantage of the environment to make sure that he's the top dog now, and fair play to him. But yeah, there was a lot of good stuff in here, though. Granted,
yeah.
I think my top level takes on it was that it was just too damn long. I think there was a point in the second half of the show, it was like, I don't want to watch this anymore, but I knew there was still some big things there to come, which kept me going, but I did lose all interest. There was a lot of announcements in there that was just total marketing filler. It wasn't even like, this is lots and lots of cool indie games. It's like a lot of free-to-play slop and all that stuff. I'm like, right, okay. And yeah, and for that reason, and that reason alone, we're not going to be going through announcement by announcement like we would on a Pixel Reacts episode. I found that boring watching it, so I think it'd be even more boring hearing me recite it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go through the announcements of note that we feel that our audience should know about, and the ones that we are most excited about, because that's genuine, that's authentic. We want to be exciting. We don't want to be bored to death on this show. So, Scott, why don't you kick us off with one that you want to talk about, something you want to react to?
Something that got me excited. Something that didn't get me excited. If I may start there, start as you mean to go on. Call of Duty Black Ops 7, Liam.
Oh, right off the bat.
Now, since its initial teaser, this is now, the official announcement of the game, because that's what this game needed, was another official announcement. But I was fine with a trailer. A trailer is perfect. Give us a taste of what's to come. Show us some zombie stuff. Show us this whole top-down, whatever this is going to be. kind of the different sort of parts to that. But then I don't need an interview with the developers of the game telling me about how they've revitalized and changed COD for the better, how this is probably the most interactive COD that anyone has ever played in their life. But also then to say, but now you'll find out more at Call of Duty Next. Like, this should have been Call of Duty Next. Do you know what I mean? Show us a trailer for the game and piss off. Like, Call of Duty do not need this publicity. Like, they have enough marketing budget to run a fucking show on their own. Don't waste 15 minutes of my life listening to fucking people trying to become confident public speakers in the midst of a public facing interview. Do you know what I mean? Like,
my heart wept for that woman on stage because she was so nervous. Like, that was the first thing I remember saying to my wife at the time. She was passing by, and I was just like, this poor woman is just absolutely rattled. Like, you could hear it in the voice. I was like, it's such a shame, man.
It's just so awkward. Like, I get it. I get it having people come in and talk about it. That's fine. But games like Call of Duty don't need it. Like, it's so unnecessary for them to have this. And it just wasted 15 minutes of my life. Like, it started the whole thing off on a pure bum note for me because I was like, gonna just hurry up. Like, is this what this whole show is going to be like? But Call of Duty 7 just looks like more Call of Duty. And, you know, people will be happy about that. Liam believes that and correctly believes that I will not like this because of the pace of the game. And he's absolutely correct. It scares me, Liam. It absolutely terrifies me. I have played Advanced Warfare. I've played whatever it was, the space one. Like, it scares me how terrible I was at these games. So having this come back in a way, it frightens me. But, you know, Black Ops 2 is always there, so I can always go back.
Well, that's a good segue. I mean, for me, I looked at Black Ops, and I always feel like I'm the same way. It's like it's Call of Duty, like it markets itself at this point. But you know, you still have to market, and that's the feeling for a lot of these games here. For me, I'm happy it's a legit sequel to 2. I know that kind of looking at there wasn't gameplay shown off, but they had basically hinted that we're kind of going back to more fluid movements now. They did say in the information afterwards that it's kind of a more updated Omni movement system. So they're not necessarily talking about jetpacks and stuff. That does concern me because I felt that Black Ops 6 got the balance right in terms of keeping it exciting. But it's telling, there's something about it, despite my, I would say, kind of excitement with a pinch of salt there. There's a little bit of trepidation because I'm worried that this might be an off year because I just don't know. But there was something that came out afterwards, and this is the thing. I just don't think they communicated what makes this innovative in the actual showcase itself. So they talked about like it's going to have an end game. So here they're saying that the culmination of the story, Treyarch and Raven are unleashing Endgame as part of the co-op campaign, where Avalon opens up for players as they wield personalised abilities and face unexpected challenges, putting everything they've mastered throughout the story to the test. Now, from a few hands-on people that we've seen online since, the thing that keeps on coming out of these conversations is that it's very much like Destiny, almost like a PvE experience. So it's almost like adding an additional layer there. Almost like, right, if you don't want to go play Warzone, but you still want to go in, apparently there's like 32 other players or something in there with your party of 4, and you can still do the PvE stuff without actually getting sweaty, doing the kind of multiplayer battle royale type stuff. And after hearing that, I'm like, man, that's really cool. If they were going to show something off here, instead of teeing up Call of Duty Next, which, let's face it, they're going to have one dedicated to that, to zombies, to multiplayer, and probably Warzone before the release. So it's about to get bombarded with a lot of stuff, and I'll come back to that in a second. But I feel that this would have been the perfect opportunity to be like, right, you're doing something new and cool and innovative. Tell me why we should care. Because the biggest thing that you've got in front of you, the biggest barrier for Call of Duty is that the assumption of the hardcore players that are watching this show, which is it's just more Call of Duty. And it's like, yeah, that's true. But you have to then tell them it's more Call of Duty, but it's something a little bit different, and it's something that you might want to get involved with this time, because it's an immediate write-off for the vast majority of hardcore players out there, I would say, because there's a bit of navel-gazing about it, I would say, and there's also like things that I don't necessarily think is true, like you're too old to play it and all that. It's like, no, your reflexes are still good, get good. So it's just stuff like that, but there is a lot there that I'm very intrigued by. I'd be honest, if it wasn't in Game Pass, it's probably something I'm not jumping out and buying day one. But because it is in Game Pass, that's why I'm like, hey, I'm looking forward to checking that out. That'll be good.
Yeah.
And, I'll put in some time into it. But yeah, it was the ties to Black Ops 2 is the thing that excites me most about it. I'm intrigued by this kind of campaign stuff that they're kind of pushing, but I feel that on a whole, the overall communication of the general Call of Duty new ones coming out is getting later and later every year. And I'm just noticing that. It used to always be you would get the kind of general leak and then they would confirm it, before the summer. Now it's kind of going into the later summer months. And that doesn't leave you a lot of time. You've effectively only got, 2 and a bit months before the game actually comes out. And that doesn't leave a lot of time to communicate a lot of the stuff that they're trying to say you should care about, especially in what is going to be a very contested year, because Battlefield 6 has the benefit of being pish and away for so long. And even though it's going to be pish and back, it's like time is something that makes we gamers are fickle. We'll forget about stuff. And it's like Call of Duty, it's like it's annual, it's the same old stuff. There's that fatigue. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad, but fatigue is a real thing. It's the same problem that the MCU has. You know what I mean? It's like some people are just like fatigued, and it's like we're now at the stage where you are fatigued of hearing about the fatigue, because it's like, right, okay, it doesn't mean that it's bad if you're tired of it. That's two very different things. You can be tired, and something can be good at the same time. But I'm always very much
the Marvel Cinematic Universe is pish, so that example does not ring true.
It definitely does.
No, you're right. You're right, though. I'm taking the piss. It's the output for Call of Duty is just frightening. Like how many games, how often, and how little time it takes is just frightening. Like the fact that it's so consistent is just ridiculous. So I'll reserve judgment until I actually play the game. I'm sure we'll have betas and stuff like that announced, and we'll finally get to play it soon. So I will reserve judgment, but these games have a way of turning me off just in terms of movement, and that just seeing parts of it did frighten me. But we'll get there with it, and I can't say no because it's on Game Pass. You know what I mean? And you'll want to play it. So if you want to play it, then I'll have to play it, and that's just the way the world works.
I'll definitely check it out because it's on Game Pass. I would not be sitting there going, I'm going to buy it and you need to buy it. It's just Game Pass just changes the game, on that one. But we will see. We'll come back to it. There will no doubt be the Call of Duty Next is on its way soon, and we'll have more on that. But I don't want to linger too much on COD here because this is not a, it's not a COD.
Codcast.
There'll be people out there just go on Twitch. There's lots of them. I'll follow up with what I'm talking about here, which is a cool thing. It's not a game, but it was the Sekiro No Death anime that was announced at Opening Night Live, which is coming to Crunchyroll. It's that delicious platform. I thought it looked incredible. Like it had a really cool, distinct anime art style. Looks like they'll just be kind of retelling the tale of the game, but in terms of opening, I think it's just a really clever thing, because if this is successful, imagine you had something similar like with the Bloodborne or something like that. There's so many people out there that would love to experience these tales and worlds that From Software build, but the barrier is just too high, and I think this is a really clever way to get around that potentially. But yeah, I know this is definitely something you'll be there day one on.
Do you know, I was excited for it, but something just felt off with it. I don't know what it was, but since hearing about it, it's the people have started to notice that part of it seems to be, or the company that does the work on it, things like Qzilla or something like that, are actually notorious for using AI. So people are saying that parts of the actual, footage on it are actually AI generated. And there's a part, there's actually a scene in the video where Sekiro has 6 fingers on his hand. So it's like,
Oh no.
that's not correct. But, that might have been one of the extra digits that were put on. However, I'll be there with it. I'll check it out, of course. And Crunchyroll's on PlayStation, I'm pretty sure. So
Yeah.
can check that out.
Happy days. So let's breeze along here. There's quite a few ones to get through.
Indeed.
What other ones piqued your interest?
I mean, probably game of the show. You called it the minute it was shown off, but as the trailer went on and on and on, it was just incredible. But with the return of Lego Batman, Legacy of the Dark Knight, it was just a complete roller coaster ride of the history of Batman, and it was great. Like, you had wee gameplay snippets looking like, the Arkham series, some of the sort of the bat, the kind of floating stuff, the gliding and all that. You've got historical characters coming back. Matt Berry's playing Bane. It's just, you had like Joker showing up as Heath Ledger. You had different Batman outfits. You had everything, man. It was just like, what is going on here? The whole trailer was just like a non-stop roller coaster ride of just every single thing that you've ever seen in Batman ever.
Yeah.
But then they had a wee conversation with the development team and stuff. The wee guy came on afterwards and he was talking about it. And he's saying how they're like looking to develop the combat and stuff. And it's like, I am all in on this. Like, 2026 cannot come soon enough because this looks ridiculous. Like, it looks like a total day one purchase. And when is the last time we've said that about a Lego game?
It's true. I mean, it's been in the wilderness for a wee while. I know, like, I didn't check out Lego Horizon Adventures. The last one I got was the Skywalker Saga. I totally FOMO'd on that, and it was good fun. But the problem is that it very much felt like I was playing a game for children, so I never quite finished it. And this, as a massive Batman fan, it's like going through that pantheon of Batman on screen in particular, but taking those little hints of Arkham, like you mentioned. It looks like it's got the sauce, man, and hilarious. That's the main thing. It needs to be funny. But if they've gone... In the past, they would kind of take like snippets from the film and they would kind of dub it over, and it was always really terrible audio. Now they've kind of taken that approach to just voice it themselves and recreate the scenes. And it looks like they've put in the difficulty options in there as well.
Like
so it's not just, simple, family-friendly gaming. There will be challenge. So I'm really intrigued to kind of see more about that. And particularly from our own selfish perspectives as well. I mean, this is one that you could easily play with the wee ones if you wanted to, not just, for yourself. But I'm assuming there'll be a lot of mums and dads out there that are like, Batman time. This is just for me.
This is just for me.
Exactly.
It's perfect for it. Like, it really does look like the perfect game, and I'm just absolutely buzzing for it. Like, Batman, it needed something like this. I feel like, and so did DC, to be honest with you, after, the Suicide Squad and all that pish. It really needed, like, a firm foot back into video games, and this seems like, a complete win for them. So,
and Batman is just the perfect video game superhero. So if done well, it's never going to be a bad time. So no, I'm with you, man. It looked absolutely tremendous and a really pleasant surprise. It was probably potentially game of the show. Potentially just because of that surprise factor.
To 100%, I would totally agree. In terms of, unknown quantities, it's absolutely up there. Sorry, my dog is like traipsing around the living room just trying to find somewhere to lie down. If you can hear her cutting about.
No, not at all. She's fine. I hope she's comfortable. It's definitely a nice, pleasant surprise for sure. But I'm looking forward to playing it.
It was. Can I also bring up? Can I come up with something actually? It's because there was shortly after this there was an advert, Liam, and it was an advert showing off all the different things that Gamescom has to offer. Different places that you can attend Gamescom in the future. But right at the very beginning of it, it looked like a game. Like, it looked like a video game was being announced. And I could have sworn it was Control 2. Like, even now, going back and watching it, I was like, they're announcing Control 2 here. Like, we're getting to see Control 2. And then it just cut to a random shot with, like, Gamescom in it. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, absolutely edging us all with Control 2 news. It was horrible.
I know. They knew what they were doing.
They did.
They knew what they were doing, and I applaud that. It's dastardly. Just, they might as well. They might as well. I suppose we'll have more on that. Well, speaking of hype and stuff like that, right? I think we should talk about this fact that Jeff kicked off the show with the Hollow Knight Silk song. It was there, but not really there. They're going to be doing their own showcase, which will be Thursday, day before this podcast goes live, but we're doing this on a Wednesday. So we haven't seen it, and I don't care. I'm just going to be honest. Probably because the first one, if I'm being truthful, I just found it quite boring. I was quite disappointed by it. And but still, the whole Hollow Knight Silk song phenomenon, I really do think that this has become meme hype rather than sincere hype for the game. It's kind of like the folklore of it. And now that that's gone, I was talking about that in Blue Sky. What is going to be the next meme game? I don't know. But it's something that's definitely worth thinking about. I mean, I always joke Knack 3, but I mean, for real, we've got that. GTA 6 is there. Who knows what it could be? Is it going to be Batman Arkham or something like that? Hades 2 got turning up next, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many options there, but it kind of feels like it's the end of a chapter. One that I'm quite glad is over. But I'm glad for the fans, they've got the stuff. But I do feel like this is kind of a lot of meme hype in this as well. But that's what you want, and it wouldn't surprise me if by the time this episode goes live that it's available. It's probably going to be live on Game Pass or something like that. So keep our eyes peeled. Will you play it? So, Scott,
will I play it? I'll play the first one first, and then we'll see. I will commit to doing that. It's just that I've been every so often just checking out the waiting room for the announcement, the special announcement that they're doing, the Team Cherry YouTube channel, and there's 12,000 people just sitting in that waiting room right now.
It's insane.
With the premiere in 17 hours, there's just people on there just shouting at each other. Never seen anything like it. Do you know what I mean? Well, we probably have done, but it's an interesting conversation. When I saw you post about it on Blue Sky, what is the next game like that going to be? It's a really interesting conversation. Wolverine, Fable, Perfect Dark and stuff like that. Like, do you know what I mean? There's plenty of these games that are taking their sweet ass time to come out, but I'll commit to the Hollow Knight playthrough next.
Yeah, it's a good shout. It's a good shout. I mean, I'd be intrigued to get your thoughts on it. I was very much kind of like, this just ain't for me. And I do love a Metroidvania, but yeah, it just wasn't for me, man. And that's cool. That's fine. Who knows? Maybe I'll check out Silk Song just for the meme hype and just get in there and see. I would love to be proven wrong, but we shall wait and see. But I'll move on. There's another one here I want to talk about that we've got another wee peek at on there. One that I know definitely is ticking all the boxes, which is Onimusha with the Sword. We've got another little glimpse of this game, which is definitely not being shy, which I'm surprised at, because you wait all this time for Onimusha and all of a sudden you're getting almost every big major showcase. There's some more Onimusha. To the veins, please. I mean, it definitely. I know it wasn't really at its best. Didn't look bad. I still thought it looked incredible, but it's only going to look better when it's done, and that's the exciting thing. And already, I was saying this yesterday in Blue Sky as well. Like 2026, shaping up to be one of the greatest of all time. If all of these games stick the landing. What was your thoughts, Scott, when you saw this trailer?
I'm trying my best to avoid as much as I can, because Onimusha games are, notoriously not long. But from what I've seen of it, it looks incredible. Like there's the moment where he spins around with the spear thing, and it's a massive flames and stuff come up from the tornado, and it's like, oh my god. I'm starting to like the character more. Like I'm starting to like the way that he looks more. And the fact that we've not got Samanosuke doesn't hurt quite as much now. But I just can't wait. I mean, Onimusha is one of those games where, games that made me. And I cannot wait to see it back again. And hopefully, the next Onimusha after that won't be too far away as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's what a tiny bit of life, man. If I thought we're getting all
these games coming out for me, it's almost unfair.
It's incredible, and then that Resi, that RE engine, man, it just looks fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, and it'll only look better. I think the thing to remember here is that it's still work in progress, so it's still got ways to go. It's very much like Monster Hunter Wilds. You know, I think they dropped a trailer. Am I right? It was Wilds, the latest one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And they dropped a trailer not that 6 months before release, and it looked rough, really rough. But then on release, everybody's like, "Wow, this engine really does make it shine." So I'm expecting the same here with Onimusha, and I believe there's been some hands-on previews of that as well, and it's been positive, which is good. It's not, I think a lot of people expected it to kind of take more inspiration from like Sekiro and stuff. It's not the case, which is good. So yeah, it's definitely going to be a potential big hit for next year if they again stick that landing.
Oh, I can't wait! Oh, I can't wait!
I mean, that was a good thing about this show. There was lots of good stuff in here.
Yeah,
we are cherry picking the best of it. So we're doing you a service, so you don't have to go back and watch that on YouTube with some highlights. I think as well, another cool highlight in the show, the Fallout Season 2 trailer.
yes.
Definitely worth going to check that out on YouTube. Scott, just give me it all. I think it's
really got me excited for it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Fallout the Season 1 purely because it got my wife to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
No idea why or how, but something about wastelands and nuclear death is my wife's cup of tea. So this is just more of that, and it's taken inspiration from the best Fallout game, which is good. So I'm excited to see more and excited to jump feet first into it. What was it, December or something like that?
December, that's right, 17th I think it was the date. It is a weekly release, which was a bit of a boo weird from me, because I remember they did it in a little bit more batch release the last time, which was great because the show was incredibly Moorish because of that fantastic mystery, which I won't spoil, at the centre of it all, which was just a great
Everyone
decision.
Everyone dies.
A nuke goes off. No, I'm with you, man. Like, I think really impressed just still as how they've nailed this universe and translated it to TV. I feel like this definitely is the further removed I am from it, I think that is the standard bearer for adaptations, especially if they manage to keep the quality in the second series. It's going to be no doubt it beats The Last of Us in terms of those TV adaptations. I think
the difference though is that this is telling its own thing. Do you know what I mean? Like this is stories within the Fallout universe. We had this conversation, potentially a year ago, but it was very much like the best adaptations and stuff. And we did compare it, and it's like, Fallout is doing an excellent job of making stories within this universe, whereas Last of Us was just trying to be a faithful representation of that game. There's ways that you could have switched those over and it could have been the exact same thing either side, and it could have been the exact same results, but you're 100% right. I mean, it's far and away probably, that first season is probably on par with Last of Us Season 1, I'd say.
Yeah.
Quite possibly. Last of Us Season 2, the woke brigade hate it, but I enjoyed it. I'm not one of them. However, it's with Fallout Season 2, I mean, it's got big shoes to fill, and
it does.
That was the kind of the issue with Jonathan Nolan and stuff like that. Is there's maybe some issues with a Season 2. We all remember Westworld, and
he has previous.
He has previous. So hopefully, everything that we've seen so far and everything that's coming out about it, we get positive news, and it's very good, as good as the first series anyway.
Looking forward to it. I mean, it just means that we've got something good to watch over the Christmas break, and finally, like you says, it's taking inspiration from the best Fallout game, Fallout 3, and in this case, they're finally going to make an interest in New Vegas, because New Vegas was brown, terrible,
horrendous patter.
That's true though. I'm sorry, I'm not here for that hipster patter. New Vegas was boring. So we shall move on. There was another game of the show that we're kind of forgetting here, Scott, and this one was just snuck in there. Might have not noticed it. And that was World of Tanks 2.0, which I believe was your game of the show. I was so happy to see that there.
My dog has literally walked away as you mentioned that, raging.
It's because she's sick of watching you play World of Tanks. She knows.
I mean, someone's obviously playing World of Tanks.
Yeah.
I want to see this community because it's the kind of game that Mark from Peep Show would be playing. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's definitely pure Peep Show fodder.
Yeah.
And aye, fair dues to them, man.
Jokes aside, it's probably a gentle reminder that there is a lot more pockets of gamers out there than what we care to realise in a day-to-day business, because we all live in our little bubbles as gamers. Some like shooters, indies, AAAs, all the rest of that. It was just one of those ones I was like, is this actually World of Tanks 2.0? And it was. And it did just kind of remind me this is opening night live, because it's kind of, there's a few of them peppered in here, but there's other ones as well, Scott. There's one just for myself to be excited about, but I didn't have to see more of it, which was the Indiana Jones and the Great Circle Order of Giants DLC. Very excited for it though. More from arguably the best game of last year. I don't need to see more. I'll gladly be there on launch, Scott, and I'll be bringing my thoughts to this podcast. But I'm just happy there's more to return to. I just kind of felt it's coming to Nintendo Switch 2 next year as well.
Indeed,
which is exciting.
Will you go back? Is there a triple dip in this for you, Liam?
I don't think so, because the game, I think I'd be probably doing it an injustice playing it on Nintendo Switch 2, but I'll be playing the DLC on PlayStation 5 Pro, and I'll be sharing my thoughts with it probably the week or so after it's out, just to give me some time to play that. But yeah, it was, again, I'm just very happy. I never thought I'd be sitting here because I dared not to dream that it would be good, and I really do respect the hell out of that game for actually leaning into the sheer nerddom of Indiana Jones. It's a bit like making an all-out detective Batman game. That's kind of what they've done with it. But yeah, I was pleased with that.
I mean, I definitely respect him for making quite possibly one of the most boring games that I've ever played. And last year, however, I don't want to get back into that conversation because I did play Dragon's Dogma 2 last year as well.
You also enjoyed New Vegas, but moving on.
Oh, Christ. But a game that I actually thought looked very interesting was actually Death by Scrolling.
Yes.
I thought that the vertically scrolling, it's like an RPG roguelike thing where you're running away from the Grim Reaper and have to do like wee tasks and stuff like that as the screen constantly moves up is I'm all about it, man. There's something in my brain that ticks, it kind of hits a wee part of my brain and I'm like, ooh, I could really get on board with that.
Very
and
smart.
It also seems like the kind of game that friend of the show Alex will stream as well. Like he'll definitely be on stream playing that. But
Alex
I just thought it looked
on Twitch. So check him out.
Yeah, that looked really cool, and I was quite keen to get a bit more information about that. But it also then led on to, after all the chaos and mental details that have come out since Disco Elysium's release, and the studios breaking up and splitting off into like 15 different places, we had a look at Zaum's new game. So one of the studios created a game called Zero Parades, and I mean, if you had told me this was Disco Elysium 2, I don't think I would have known anything otherwise because it looks exactly the same. But Disco Elysium 2 was just a total sleeper hit. And especially having played it myself, it was one of those games where I should not have been on board with this. This was in the period of time where I was falling in love with like Baldur's Gate 3. And I thought, I'll try Disco Elysium, and it hit really hard, and I was so excited to play it, and I loved it. I loved every single moment of it. So trying to relive that story again and relive that world, take me straight back into it, man, and hook it straight into my veins because I thought this was really interesting looking. So
yeah, it's a good shout. I think there was another little indie game that popped up, Moonlighter 2.
Yes,
looks like that's coming as well soon. Happy to get another wee glimpse of it here. I've been wanting to kind of jump in on that since dabbling with the first one a while back. Will I have time? I hope so. Those are the type of games that are absolute time sponges for me. So I was very, very happy to see that here as well. There was a doubler though, that very much Scott games that I want to talk about just to see what your thoughts were on it, Scott. We did have, first of all, another look at Silent Hill F. Amazing looking game. Best looking game I will never play because I will jobby myself if I try to play it. It looks hella creepy, but what's your excitement levels on that? I know you don't want to see too much, but how are you feeling about it?
I'm excited. The 25th of September cannot come fast enough, man. I cannot wait for this game to come out. The vibes, getting to see a bit more of the combat and stuff like that for it as well, really interested me. But it is just like Silent Hill lives and dies by its story, and the horror elements of it. But it's one of those things where this looks like it's going to hit on all of those, and we could definitely say Silent Hill 2 walked so Silent Hill F could run. You know what I mean? Like Konami are back, and I cannot bloody wait for this, man. Like I really cannot. It just looks so weird, and all the trailers so far have done a really great job at kind of giving you a sort of launch pad into this world and getting to see a wee bit. But I just can't wait to live in this place and crap my pants every single night as I play it.
And speaking of crapping your pants, there was also Chronos: The New Dawn, made by Bloober Team.
Yeah, so, weird character standing on stage for an extended period of time. Felt a bit too long with his, colander in his head. But I actually didn't watch this trailer, Liam. I'm not going to lie to you. This was at the time when my daughter was going to bed, and we were having a pretty rough time last night trying to get her to bed. Because she's realised that school is 5 days a week and not 2. So trying to have that conversation with her at this time, but I got to see the beginnings of it, and this is a game that I will lap up. I cannot wait for this as well. Everything that's come out with the hands-on previews recently, and everything that we're getting to hear about this game from the developers of Silent Hill 2 Remake, throw it into me. I am the LA Beast eating hot dogs. Not even chewing them, mate. Swallowing them whole. And give me more. Give me more, as Britney Spears says.
Yeah, I mean, the trailer was awesome. It's a game I won't play, but it looked cool. It was like the mind-bending traversal in terms of like jumping, and it was kind of twisting at the platform around you in between like space platforms, some curb stomps, some all-out gore in action. It looked exactly like kind of to fill that void of Dead Space since the remake, because there's such a market for that space horror, and I think they know exactly what they're doing, having found their groove with Silent Hill 2. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this one pops up, or if that and Silent Hill F are kind of fighting on the Game of the Year list here, but or even both. But high hopes. I'm excited for you, man. Looking at both, I'm like, man, he's eating. This is exactly what he needs. He's just going to have all the soiled underwear, just playing all these horror games.
Mere soiled underwear.
Happy days. And speaking of which, there was another horror one for us here, Scott, which was Resident Evil Requiem.
Indeed.
We got another little glimpse at it. And now, this is where I will draw the line, because I'll always find a way to experience Resident Evil, whatever, by hook or by crook. I could be watching it. I could be watching you play it. I don't care. I'm just always into watching Resi. I won't go out and play it because I Resident covered on the show, but I would still like. It has such a movie-like quality and a level of camp, which I just really enjoy. But this looked outstanding, didn't it?
It's probably the most visually impressive Resident Evil has ever looked.
Yeah.
I will die for her. It's fine. It's okay, but 2026 is too far away, man. It's the main event for 2026 is obviously going to be Grand Theft Auto, but everything on the lead up to this bloody game, it's just never ending, man. You're talking about it being an all timer for games. It's just outrageous, man. Outrageous.
I know, but you say 2026 is that far away, and I'm realising it's actually closer than we think.
Yes.
And that's thanks to Ghost of Yotei, right? They were there. Sucker Punch, they had a little update for us on Ghost of Yotei before it comes out, and they were there to announce the Ghost of Yotei Legends is coming. Free DLC for all owners of the game. It will be coming in 2026. Now, the thing that got me is in the PlayStation blog, they do remind us that the game is only 6 weeks away from launch, which is October the 2nd, something like that. In 6 weeks, we're in October. How the hell did that happen? But yeah, it looks great. More Ghost of Yotei. At this point, sold, you don't have to show me any more of it. For those unfamiliar, it is basically going to offer, it's the multiplayer mode for Ghost of Yotei. So they're saying it's going to offer 2-player story missions and 4-player survival matches. Although this time, you're going to play as one of 4 character classes to try and defeat demonic giant versions of the members of the Yotei 6, plus a variety of new enemies that fight alongside them. And yeah, it'll look cool as all hell. If you're familiar with the Legends mode the last time, it's just more of that, which is cool. I'm glad that they've not left out, because I know that had its kind of small community very dedicated towards that. And yeah, it's cool to see more of that come for Ghost of Yotei. But 6 weeks, man, that rattled me to my very core.
That's ridiculous. Like,
disgusting.
Yeah, it is pretty disgusting. Yeah, I mean, it did. There was other, kind of things in there as well. I feel like things that we didn't need to see, like another Outer Worlds 2 trailer. Like,
yeah, it didn't need to.
It doesn't. We don't need it. We've seen enough of this game, and how much different is it going to be from the first one. It was good to see that Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is getting a DLC in September.
Yeah.
Game
and still need to check out.
It's one that I'll never play, but I've always been interested to see. And we also got World of Warcraft got the longest trailer in human history, I feel like.
It was.
It's why do we need to have full cinematics in this? Like, geez, peace. World of Warcraft has been about for 9 million years. Like, the fan base for this, just geez, peace, man. Like, it's not, the show was already bloated at this point, and then we had awkward lady on stage with the coolest outfit that I've ever seen, like big mad blue jacket, which was damn cool. But it was just like, it's so unnecessary at this point.
Yeah, there's only one other big announcement. They did close things on one more thing. Scott,
indeed.
Do you remember what it is?
Yes, it was the new game from Game Science. Who is Game Science, Liam? Well, they were the creators of Black Myth Wukong. the weird game that looked incredible but played weird. And yeah, this was the announcement for their new game, Black Myth. Is it Zong Kui or whatever it is? I should have probably practiced that, but it's just going to be, I feel like, more of the same. Chinese folklore. It talks about, I think he's like a ghost hunter who lives or who hunts between heaven and hell or something like that. Maybe making that whole thing up, but I'm pretty sure that they did explain parts of that, which was pretty cool. But they've got a lot of pedigree in terms of making good looking games. The difference that they have to make here is that they have to make good looking games that are interesting and play well. And I'll be there for it, because Black Myth Wukong, for all its flaws, was pretty good. You know what I mean? Like, it was a pretty good experience, and it was one of those games where you were like, Mum, come and check out this game. Look how good it looks.
Yeah.
But it did have its flaws, and director aside, it had its flaws. But yeah, I'm excited to see, because it's coming out on Xbox soon, I believe. Kind of fairly soon. I want to see how it performs. That's going to be a big talking point, I think, because it takes a lot, But yeah, I'm interested to see more about it. I'd be keen to see you play Black Myth Wukong, if I'm being honest.
I'm terrible at it. Terrible. I have played it. Played it at my brother-in-law's on his absolutely shit hot PC, just running like a dream. So I can't even complain. Its performance, it wasn't ran butter smooth, looked amazing, and I just got my ass handed to me. But I was surprised as to how much more action adventure it was rather than Souls. I went in there expecting a proper Souls game. It's kind of like a bit of a hybrid between the two, but I will go and probably play it at some point. You just know it's going to get a really heavy discount, or it's going to appear on not a Game Pass, but a PlayStation Plus or something like that out of the blue. So I'll wait till then. I'm quite happy to do so, but I know that it's also in game trials on PlayStation Plus just now as well.
There's a first boss. Don't even know it's a boss, but it's a first big enemy in the game that has a big blue head, and it's I mean, if there's an enemy that shouldn't be the first enemy that you properly fight in that game, it is this guy, because he absolutely batters you for about 45 minutes straight. Like, you're just like, how do you do this? But it's cool, man. Like, I'm interested to see what they go with here, because just to see how this proceeds in the future.
Yeah, and that kind of wrapped up everything from Opening Night Live. There was some other announcements. Xbox the following day.
Sorry, can I interrupt you for 1 second with some breaking news?
Sure.
You missed out one thing. It's actually not breaking news. I just want to lull our listeners into a false sense of security here. There wasn't any breaking news. I'm sorry, but you failed to remind the fans that Bubsy 4D, Bubsy is back, and he's never been away. And Bubsy 4D is real, and
the real
people want to pretend that nobody liked Bubsy. I liked Bubsy, Liam. I liked Bubsy, and I like Cool Spot. Cool Spot is the next one. Limited run. Get your fucking finger out. Get Richard Branson on the phone. Cool Spot. Get it done.
We know he's listening. So
Richard,
date to dream.
Hurry up,
well, there was an Xbox at Gamescom showing. Like I says, there was a lot of expected things in here that were shown off, but the biggest stuff I've just cherry picked just 3 things what to talk about. Rogue Prince of Persia is now on Xbox and PlayStation 5 as well. Triangle Strategy is now on Xbox and PlayStation, which is a fantastic
best game ever made.
If you've not played it, please treat yourself to it. It is an incredible time. And it's also getting a limited time discount whilst it's just been joining Xbox and PlayStation. So if you're going to pick it up, now's the best time to do so. But the main thing here was the ROG Ally and the ROG Ally X. The release date has been confirmed for 16th of October. No official price yet, but apparently some Walmart pre-orders up saying that it's at $899 and $599 respectfully. We knew it was going to be big meaty boys, but it's cool that that's what, about 8 weeks away, which is mad. Very intrigued to see what the reaction to that will be, because I think people who have a ROG Ally just now absolutely sing its praises. Intrigued to see how it kind of blends in with the Xbox. I do wonder if our dear friend Alex may be picking it up. Alex, if you are, let us know, because we'd be keen to get your thoughts on it, if it's something that intrigues you or not. And if you are picking it up,
can attach it.
It's good.
You can attach it to his face. Pretend it's a brand new VR headset. Be like, "This is great, mate." Just playing it like that.
That could be my way back to VR, actually.
There you go.
But yeah, it's interesting, and the reason I'm kind of talking about the price, because we don't have anything official yet. But the other piece of news that's worth bringing to our listeners here this week is that PlayStation also announced that from August 21st, they will be raising prices for the PlayStation 5 in the US. Only the US, they won't be doing it for any additional markets. So the recommended retail price for the PlayStation 5 consoles in the US from the 21st of August, base PS5 will be $549.99, digital edition PS5 will be $499.99, and the PlayStation 5 Pro will be $749.99. Reap what you sow. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I mean, if only someone would have stopped this. You know what I mean? There was the writing was on the wall.
Someone think of the children.
Someone think of not even the children. Someone think of adults and everyone else that live.
It's absolutely garbage to see like these things go up, and people across the pond getting priced out potentially. I mean, can you picture the scene if you were like 17, 18 or something, working an early job, and it's like, I'm saving up to get it this summer, and it's literally, you're going to the shops tomorrow and it's $50 more.
You'd be raging. Oh no.
Why?
It means I can't buy, NAC 2 with it.
That would do you a triangle strategy.
Aye,
with
very
a bit
true.
of change for a pizza.
Very true.
You know what I mean? I mean, things just be getting more and more expensive, and it's a recurring theme on this show, recurrent topic, but yeah, not one I'm going to linger into too much. But I feel for the people over there, and I hope that this is not something that reverberates over here, because as we all know, they always say it's just this market, and then give it 6 months. Due to our world economic market conditions, we need to get more money from you. It just doesn't work that way.
I will be petitioning Downing Street that, you know, I'll be putting on my Australia boot and taking it down to some asses down in London, because there's absolutely no fucking way it's happening here. I refuse to believe it.
Look, we had the big cost of gaming chat, and we've also had a Switch 2 launch since then. And we did say throughout the times, if you're thinking about getting the console, go now, because these things will go up in price. Particularly, I think after Christmas, you're going to see an increase on Switch 2, but I feel that Nintendo may kind of cowered out a little bit and not just target US where the problems are occurring from. They'll target everybody just to kind of save face a little bit, and also make a wee bit of extra money. So I think if you are thinking about it, I mean, we're talking about like a ROG Ally X. If you're someone that over in the States, it's like $750 for that, or I could pick up a ROG Ally X for just a couple £100 more and just hold off and save my pennies and to take things on the go. It's suddenly like we are getting into crazy territory for pricing of stuff now, man. Like $900, $750. I mean, this is insane. You know, for something that we can't even get feasibly a longer than 7-year generation out of. So yeah, it's changing before our very eyes. It always does. Never boring. But yeah, thanks, Trump. That's all I can say on that one. So we've actually talked a fair bit there about Gamescom, Scott. So the kind of main topic this week, I think it's time for us to move into it. Really is, you know, what makes a great game showcase. Now, this isn't like our topic a few weeks back. We talked about Summer Game Fest when we're trying to design it and that. It's really just at all of these game showcases, they're kind of, we're reaching a season now where the marketing cycle's at its hottest, and we're kind of going to start to expect to see more things from a State of Play, more Nintendo Directs, all that type of stuff, as they start to try and fight harder over what is a very decreasing coin purse that we all of us gamers have, thanks to all these tariffs and crap going up around us. But really, what makes a great game showcase? You know, is it surprises? Is it pacing? Is it tone? Just lots of big names and trailers. You know, we've saw Opening Night live, right? And let's kind of start there. You know, the Game Awards is going to be coming up next, which Jeff, rightfully so, marketed the hell out of. And I think it's just, you know, what does it mean to create like the ultimate showcase at the end of the day? And does he make it look easy? Are we just complaining about something that's actually really bloody hard to do? We'll get your thoughts.
I think I do think it's obviously a tough. You've got to navigate a lot. You know, the games industry is not just us. There are other gamers out there. Believe me, I've met them.
They're real.
And they're real. You know, I've held other gamers, but hands-on preview. But it's you've got to navigate a whole shitstorm of things. You know, like you've got to navigate every single console. You've got to navigate PC. You've got to navigate, you know, people's expectations as well. Like if we just look at Hollow Knight Silksong, like that makes or breaks a show for some people. Do you know what I mean? Like news about that. You've got to toe the line between games that are coming out soon to games that are coming out in a million years away, games that might never come out, you know, as your Xbox. But it's one of those things where there's 100 million different things that you've got to consider, and that's before you've even kind of stepped foot on stage and started talking about, you know, everything else. And then you've got, you know, the climate of the gaming industry. You've got to deal with all the kind of communication of layoffs. You've got to kind of be mindful of all that. It's just, it's a ticking time bomb that I would not want to handle. But Jeff Keighley, you know, God rest his soul, he does a very good job of doing it.
In memoriam.
In memoriam. He does an incredibly good job of doing it. Now, I think we as hosts on this podcast, and I would argue you probably more than me, Liam, which is very accusatory, are quite not negative, but can be quite, what's the word I'm looking for, critical of Jeff Keighley and his role, and I think rightly so, in that the show essentially becomes all about him and talking about where he went to and played this game and how he loves it. And I don't think it's necessary for him to do that. I don't think it's necessary for him to speak at all in all these places. And to be quite honest with you, I don't truthfully understand why he hosts Gamescom. Like, why this is his monopoly on things. He now is the gaming equivalent of, Ricky Gervais at the Oscars or the Golden Globes or whatever. Like, he is the host of that, and he hosts it forever.
I think he's more like the gaming Alan Carr. Like, he's the gaming Bradley Walsh. He's just the guy that you just kind of cart out because it's like, we know he can present. Just
safe pair of hands, but also he's the one that runs it. Do you know what I mean? It's like
the Vince McMahon. Well, maybe not. The Triple H.
The Triple H of it all. Like, and Triple H is kind of guilty of it as well. It's there's too much exposure for him. And we've spoken about how we get away with it. I can't be asking into that conversation with him, but it is. I think that for Jeff Keighley, he does a good job of it all. Like, I'll give him his due on that. He does a very good job of sort of managing it all and having to deal with all the flack that it brings. But what makes a good show for me, and a long way to answer this question, Liam, a good show for me is well paced, doesn't overstay its welcome, has announcements that either I'm interested in or I know that are good for the industry. Like, I think that game, Outer Sloths game or something like that, is like Long Gone or something, is, I'm not remotely interested in playing it, but the whole scheme that they have in place with Outer Sloth, with, Inner Sloth was the one that done Among Us, and now they're funding all these other games, are great, and I want to see more of that. And just have different stories like that. Something that moves the industry forward and gets us to see a part of the industry that we don't normally see. And we saw that with the Game Awards recently. But yeah, well paced, good announcements, doesn't overstay its welcome, and I don't have to listen to marketing garble quite a lot. Like, it's as long as, and that's asking for a lot. They have to make their money somehow, but I just don't feel like it's necessary. I watch these things for the games, not for daft chat about how Call of Duty is going to be better than ever before, and what is it called next. I watch it for the trailers. I don't watch it for anything else, if I'm being truthfully honest. But long way for a shortcut. That is my very long, very drawn out answer on that question there.
Oh, I'm glad you shared it. I mean, I think you're right. But we spoke Jeff Keighley. I actually think yesterday he did a better job of not centering it all on himself. He made a lot more use of his co-host, and apologies, I forget her name, but she did a much better job. There was a lot more of her featured in the show. Yeah, than
I want to say her name was Ghosty, but it's not. I'm thinking about something completely different. I'll get her name while you're doing that. Shotzi, I think it was.
But yeah, I think he's obviously a well-known name within certain circles. I think like to the kind of mid-hardcore range, I'm not really sure. Or to the casuals, absolutely not. But they're not watching this. I think Opening Night Live did a better job, but there's so many things in there. I mean, I do get more critical on these shows because I think it is just part of the day job. I kind of working in marketing, communications, and all that. It's kind of like, how would I actually go about this if I could? And your mind you can't help but do that. It's like if I listen to a piece of music, it's like, how would I play this? How would I interpret it, and all that stuff? And it's not. He does make it look very easy because there's a shit ton of work that goes behind making these things come together. However, there's just a lot in there that I'm like, it's one of many out there just now, and it's not Jeff Keighley Productions. The ones such as your State of Plays, your Nintendo Directs, and all that. There's something always just a little bit off and awkward at all of them, and it's not always the same. And I think we're still a very juvenile industry, kind of navigating our way through how to best communicate these things. And there's a few reasons for that. The biggest thing for me is that with E3 dying, I don't really think, I believe that in a few years we will come to speak more and analyse this, is that I feel that it's left, to quote you, a gaping hole in that kind of media landscape that we are still struggling to fill,
Yeah.
and it's not going to be filled with what is already there. And for me, it's great. There has been great game showcases out there. Even like the Game Awards recently was there. We had a fantastic state of play earlier this year. The Nintendo Switch 2 Direct was good this year as well. But there's so many things in there where it goes wrong. And for me, length is the like you, top of the bill. That's always the issue. Most cases it's too long, and some other cases it's too short. Looking at you, Sony. Just, the short ones, you're very much like, this could have been an email. The long ones, it is a drain. It's like a marathon. You're sitting there for 2 hours plus in some cases, to the point where it does kind of dull your enthusiasm a little bit for it. Content wise, for me, not everything announcement wise, not all of them are equal. Honestly, sometimes I think it'd be worth just holding off in a lot of cases, if rather than treat them as filler, because we see right through it. It's a bit like, back in the Attitude Era, if you're starting to get some of the terrible wrestlers out, you're like, right, it's time to go make a cup of tea, that type of thing.
Perry Saturn.
Yeah, him and the mop coming out, it's like, oh, here we go. I've got a few ones here. Mystery is another thing where I think it does go wrong, right? So we as gamers, we are a marketing hype-led community, so I know we're always waiting for the shadow announcement. That's like top of the tree, the ultimate endorphin hit. And it's so exciting because it is, we're all buzzing about it. But I feel that, it always sets us up for a fall. When I'm talking about the shadow announcements, I'm talking about like Sony do it all the time. State of play tomorrow, 10 p.m., and it's like, join us for 30 minutes of third-party partners and PlayStation 5 games, yada, yada. And then the problem is the mystery is kind of where we're going wrong, and that's our fault. That's not their fault. But we've opened up the kind of the realms of getting carried away. And that's a big, big issue with these game showcases. I don't know the answer around it, because that leads me to the next point, which is expectation. Because these showcases very rarely meet the expectations of fans, I feel, because we are getting too carried away. And, the vast majority of the content that makes up these showcases, it could be a blog post. It could, and I know that isn't how marketing works. When you sign deals, you're signing contracts, you're going to be on a state of play, you're going to be on Game Awards, whatever it is, you have to get your stuff out there somehow, and it's an ever-increasing competitive market, hence why they're there. And these things have vast reach potential, but you can always tell, and that's always at the odds of the expectation in there. And I know that they always try their best to communicate clearly. Like I said, join us for 20 minutes, join us for PlayStation 5 games, Nintendo to Switch 2 Direct. Please note there'll be no games for Switch 1 on it, all that type of stuff. But even at that, I've seen sometimes we're going, it's like, but yeah, we might still get X, we might still get Y. And that's just more of a phenomenon with the audience. But I think it's because we are always chasing the biggest of big highs. And it must be a frigging nightmare working in there where you've done everything you can to put it out there, and yet still the audience is like, I know you said Xbox, I know you said we've not to expect GTA 6, but come on, we know GTA 6 is on this.
We know it's going to be there.
What if?
I think it raises a point as well in terms of you saying the expectations, but also, having to deal with leaks, like prominent leakers, dealing with all that stuff, like someone who comes out and says, yeah, they're going to show off Resident Evil 9 tomorrow. Like, trying to navigate that must be a complete pain in the arse as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, it reminds me of like the Hollywood conundrum. So if you're working in Hollywood and you don't want to give away big beats in your movie, I'm trying to think of one that comes to mind, but I don't know. Say there's a new Batman film, right, and the Joker's in it, and they want to keep that to the end, but they just put that in a teaser trailer, just a little doo-doo, and then it's like, there's the Joker. And that's just to kind of get people in, get them in the door, because that's marketing's job, not so much the creator's job. And they're always at odds, and I feel like that is kind of similar here. But I'm with you, like cards on the table. Prominent leakers out there are very much part of the marketing cycle, right? One could always argue that in the vast majority of cases, and since the dawn of it, games journalism has always been an extension of games marketing, because it's not really, in a lot of cases, doing, I would say, quote unquote journalism, outside of kind of rehashing the press releases that come to you. There's not actually a lot of journalistic stuff that happens out there outside of the feature writing and the interviews, etc., that goes on. But most of the time, it is just they're effectively the megaphone for what the marketing is dictating to them. And in this case now, that used to be magazines, in the heyday. Now you've got prominent leakers who put out a blue sky thing and they're just talking about stuff, and then that's how it starts to, start to build up steam. Henceforth, Silk Songs, we've put a full stop in that now. The next big hype thing could be BioShock 4, just with all the scuttlebutt that's around that. It just keeps on going, and then people just get carried away in the expectation cycle, and that can kill a game showcase.
Yeah.
In a lot of cases. And to make it great, you're right, handling the leaks better would be a very great way to just that is the answer, actually, to just nip
it's the whole Final Fantasy 9 remake stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, that leak from the Nvidia stuff that we're talking about, all the different remakes that we're doing in Final Fantasy 9. It's like every show is now just people waiting for that to show up. And it's like just constant disappointment. And it ruins a show for you when you don't see what you'd expect it to see. It's a pain in the arse.
I know, it really is. I think it's such a difficult one, but in terms of the great game showcases, the ones that usually do have that one, but it's like, I didn't see that one coming. Like Opening Night Live, nobody saw the Black Myth Wukong stuff there, the Lego Batman things. It doesn't have to be absolutely gargantuan, and that leads me into the future part of it, of what does make a great game showcase. I mean, like I said earlier, it all lives and dies on content, right? You need good content for these things in the showcase. I would wager that we need to change how we think about these showcases. If I was the one that was putting them together, your big showcases, effectively, like these Opening Night Lives and that, versus your Game Awards, which I don't think should be a showcase, they need to have like a WrestleMania approach to it, the pay-per-view approach. So don't fill it with the mid-card. If you don't have the right talent booked, don't run the show. And so if I look at state of play, I would kind of go with a two-tier approach for showcases. So give your clear expectations, but take it a step further. Even though the blog is telling you what to expect and the length and all that, we're always going to get carried away. A two-tier approach and a new name like State of Play Plus, that could set the tone immediately in the absence of this big gaping E3 hole that I've mentioned earlier, because that's not being filled. Instead of getting this big, E3 was the WrestleMania moment, right?
Yeah, it was.
And that was like, right, we can keep everything there. There was a marketing cycle built around it. There was a hype cycle, and there was an expectation around it. Anything around that, very rarely you're like, it's not going to be anything big. They'll keep that for E3. Keep that for E3. Now, it's like, it could be anywhere. They could. It's like the 24/7 title. It could happen anywhere at any time. And now we're in this really awkward position now where we're going into Opening Night Live and we're expecting these massive, massive announcements that would just never happen. And now it's all falling on the Game Awards and to a lesser extent Summer Game Fest. None of them have really filled the void, because it's now Xbox, PlayStation and Nintendo have taken that big moment and they've now spread it piecemeal throughout the year. And now we're at a point where we have 45-minute Kirby showcases for Kirby Air Riders, which I sat and watched with my son the other day, who's all about Kirby all of a sudden. And he's like, Dad, this is boring, turn it off. And I'm like, there's just no pleasing some kids. Like, I'll just put this on for you. But I was like, I agree, son. 45 minutes is a bit much. And also you can't read subtitles. But I digress. I feel that that's the big thing and the lack of that big E3 thing, it's not going to come back.
Yeah.
But I think that two-tier approach could make them great again. And if we curb those leakers to try and curtail the expectation where necessary and to hype it up a little bit more when needed, that could make it great.
I agree with you. That's the key word in all this. Expectation.
Indeed.
What is it? It's I don't know. Expectations are it's hard to curtail all that because it's always going to be there. But you're absolutely right in that when we had E3, we knew when to expect it. Do you know what I mean? Like there was nothing else. You used to take days off work so we could watch E3. Like it was great, the absolute best time ever. But it wasn't. It was clinical the way the E3 worked. Like it was just like, you know, watching like an Apple event talking about new products and stuff. Whereas you'd feel like a Game Awards or, you know, Summer Games Fest Opening Night Live. It's probably more homely and warm, but it just feels like really artificial in a way. I don't know what it is. It just feels weird. But yeah, take me back to E3, man. Bring it back. Resurrect E3.
Listen, I wouldn't be surprised if Jeff Keighley had brought it back himself, and it's just like, you know, Key 3, whatever it is he wants to call it. But bring
back Jack Tretton. Bring him back. Come on now, like,
but
please.
That's the thing. Though, see, since the pandemic, right? I look at the big stages like we had Opening Night Live, Summer Games Fest, and they do feel so antiquated. Even though Opening Night Live is probably the most applicable for it, 5,000 people there.
Yeah.
Granted, it's not up to the public yet, but it feels antiquated. Like the same theatres, the same faces, the same people. It's just like, I feel like the world opened up during that pandemic, ironically, despite it getting smaller. And yet I feel like as the world did, it literally opened back up. The gaming industry's kind of fallen back into its shell, into its groove a little bit, despite, you know, the sheer volumes of cash that they're spending on it. I mean, it looks the part, looks great, but it still just looks and feels old. Like, I don't know. I think since E3, I don't think the grandiose has been justified.
That is the word. That is the word. It's the grandiose of it all. It felt big. E3 felt huge. Like, and it felt like an actual event. Whereas, your the Game Awards and everything like that, and Opening Night Live, it just doesn't feel that way. And I don't know how you get it to that point. Like, if you do just strip it back and make it a bigger, but you're catering for a whole audience. Do you know what I mean? Like, at least with a PlayStation E3 event, you know you're getting all PlayStation stuff. With an Xbox event, you're getting all Xbox stuff, and we get that throughout the year. But it just doesn't feel nice. Like, I'd rather have one big event with everything for the year rather than 45 minutes, half an hour here and there telling me through what's going to happen. Like, this whole ecosystem where we have to, like, there's going to be a May state of play, a September state of play. We're going to have Nintendo Directs where they tell us something that happens in 2 days. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's, at least if you could make that appointment viewing where you knew when it was coming, it would feel better in a way. But one big showcase that says, look, this is our year and this is what to expect, I would prefer that ultimately more than anything else.
Yeah, I do apologise. My dog's just kind of sauntered in. He's now just making all these lapping noises. But I'm with you, man. Like, I think that is a big part of how we would make what does make a great Games showcase, is the fact that it's not one. Instead of getting one great showcase, we're getting that split up over the year. And it's not just the showcases, like you said. Like, you know, it could even just be a small handful, 3 or 4. But then if you do that, if Xbox does it, if PlayStation does it, if Nintendo does it all the time, and they've all been copying that direct model, it's exhausting. And it's not just that, it's the cycle of it. It goes to the leakers. It's like, right, Jeff Grubb was saying, like, I think there's going to be a state of play next month. You know, Insider Gaming, there's going to be an Xbox showcase next month, whatever it is. It's like, right, okay. And you're kind of keeping your radar primed for it. Now, do we have to ingest any of it? No. Do we want to? Yes, because we're enthusiastic about it. But I feel that they're probably doing themselves a disservice by doing so, because how many times you sit down and watch it and it's like, vast majority of the time, hand on heart, you're like, this is boring.
Yeah.
Like it's just not the same. Like whereas you could just kind of save it all up and really create something special just once every year. And I think that they missed that opportunity because they've just went for a generic brand, all of them. It's like a showcase, a direct, it's like that's probably good. That's like your Monday Night Raws. Well, it says, where's your pay-per-views? Where's the big thing that we're going to all turn up for? And that way we know, yeah, you're going to get less views. Yeah, you're probably going to get the hardest of hardcores that want to learn more about some cool new indie titles and stuff that's coming there. We'd still watch it, but it kind of takes away that I hate that feeling when you watch some state of plays, and even though I've been bored a lot of cases, been ones where I've been like, that was actually pretty decent, pretty good. You go online, it's like, worst state of play ever. No Final Fantasy 9 remake, worst thing ever. And it's like, it's not really that. So, I mean, yeah, we're all fickle bunches, but I do think to make it great, make it 45 minutes max, build up everything you can on one big show, and then have smaller shows to support that, like your B shows. Stop the leaks and really think about the grandiose, because I don't know, it's a bit like seeing, the old dude in the convertible, and you're kind of like, behave. It's something about that. But I feel that's another missed opportunity that I spoke about on the summer showcase one. I feel like you could go worldwide with it in a different way. I don't know. It's just the same thing all the time. And yeah, it's so much opportunity in there. So I think, how do you make a gaming showcase great? Leverage that opportunity, rethink it, and think outside the box. Might have worked for Nintendo, and it might get us by just now. But I think that we could really do something special in the future, sticking to that template. So listen to us, goddammit. We've got all the ideas.
Jeff,
from free.
Stop pretending you don't listen to this blooming podcast and just fucking do it, mate. Hurry up.
He was just texting me there. He loves this show.
It's like Phil Spencer. Can you stop texting me? But this bloody Rogue Ally X, man. I had to block him, mute him on my phone. I mean,
I don't need 10, Phil. I don't need 10. Talking.
It's like, no, I won't remake Perfect Dark for you. Go away.
Well, that was good though. It was a good chat to you. Good deep dives. Been a while since we did one of them, but we do have some listener mail this week, Scott, which does come from our dear friend of the show, Adam Colonels Miller, who is of course writing in just to say hope we're doing well, which we are. Thank you, Colonels. I hope you're doing well as well. So he's saying this, as he's from work. I'm not going to share all the details, right? Just I feel that we might have to protect some of the details from this, and Colonels will understand. But yeah, he's kind of telling us when he's on his break from work, and he thought he was going to just email his two favourite sexy podcast hosts, which is us. So he knows, he's got eyes, he can see us now. But yeah, always good to hear that, man. But it's been good to hear how he's been getting on. He just shares with us that he's been biking, continuing that from what he told us the last time, which is good. Hope you're staying the course. Gaming, and he's kind of losing those love handles slowly but surely. Right now, Scott has been playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which you just love to hear. And he's now an Elden Lord. He's done it. Fantastic, man. I want to know what ending you got. That's probably my next question to you. Feel free to drop what it was in the comment if you can remember, man. But I want to know if you were dastardly or took the good endings. So that's all I want to know. But he did share with us now some really cool, exciting updates actually about the kids as well. So his oldest daughter is now a COD master, which I just love to hear because resident COD fiend here. They're both playing almost every night, and they go a death each. So they're kind of taking it in turns. And she's now better than him, which he's not very happy about. But yeah, is what it is. But, just get good, Colonels, man. That's all you have to do. Don't be like Scott. Don't be like Scott. Just get good. And his son, who he mentioned before, is autistic, and he was struggling to find a game that he could play and enjoy. And that, the game has been found. So he is now a Sonic master. Finished all the original 3 games all by himself. Absolutely adores them. So they've now got Sonic Origins on the Switch. Rest is history, as he says, and they're regularly playing Sonic together and having a great time. And he's also added the benefits for his son. with gaming. So it's now kind of, he's saying he's learning patience, self-control, how to share everything all through gaming. It does say, might not sound like a big deal. He's talking about how he's kind of struggled to find a way to teach his son these important skills, but it's been a really big and important step, and it's all thanks to Sonic. So yeah, I think I was reading that. Somebody was cutting onions. You know what I mean? It's the type of stuff that you just absolutely love to hear. Both of us, I'm sure, feeling the same way about it, man.
Yeah.
But Connors, I think that's well done, man. Well done to the wee man and to your daughter as well. I think that's absolutely an amazing story to share. I absolutely think it's tremendous, and it's the power of gaming. At the end of the day, we're sitting here talking about bloody game showcases and all that, but it's, we can kind of get carried away and think about what the power of this medium has to kind of help bring us on, developers, bring us together as well, as a family with friends and all the rest of it. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Oh,
You've got
you get a big American flag behind you. It's a beautiful medium because you can learn so much in it. You know what I mean? Like seeing the change in yourself and your relationships with family members and stuff as you play games together. It's brilliant, man. And opening that up around the home is for something that I think I've spoken about this on the podcast before, but my daughter is the girliest girl that anyone has ever girled, right? Like Barbie's, she's in there for it. Loves to play dress up, loves to get makeup on, painting her nails with her mum. That's their thing. Like I think that my daughter and my wife could spend a whole day together just doing that and it'd be fine. But there's always that moment where she's like, can we play Mario? And that's our time. Like, when you get that time together and you can bond and it's great. And it's just like, we can talk about those things and it's just like it's a bit of the day with my daughter that I wouldn't get if I didn't have it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a point in time where she actually wants to spend time with me and not her mum. And it's great because I actually just get to spend that time with her. So it's a beautiful medium, and it's just things like that that get lost in the sauce. We spend all this time talking about game showcases and stuff like that where we are spoiled, literally spoiled from it all. But sometimes it's nice just to take that step back and say, look, this is what it's all about, man. Like, this is what it's all about, and it's a beautiful thing. The power of love.
Yeah, and I think I'm looking forward to hearing more about how that journey progresses and what other games that these are going to be playing together as a family and individually.
Liam will 1v1 your daughter on Rust.
Well, yeah, I'll also do that. Yeah, teaches all a few things. Still in my heel era here. So, the final day still has to take his souls. But he has also said that if we ever do Pixel Parents Live, he volunteers his services and gear. Absolutely take that up on you. It'd be like that scene in Anvil where they go play and it's just one guy in a beach chair.
Oh my god!
Like.
That's funny you bring Anvil up because I spent a night maybe 3 weeks ago trying to find somewhere to watch it online, and you cannot find it anywhere.
Right, challenge accepted.
I fucking love that film. Love it. Like,
it's so good.
It's so good. It's so humble and like just a beautiful story. And I remember watching it, and then some of the songs actually showed up in Brutal Legend.
Yeah.
March of the Crabs. I was like, oh man, I am actually into this. Like, I am so far into this. It's incredible. But you can't find it anywhere, mate. The only way you can get it is through nefarious means. And I do not do that. I do not do that.
If anybody has a shout where they could find Anvil, let us know. But Cunnles closes out what he's written in by asking us, what are your favourite Sonic games? I suppose, what is your favourite Sonic game? He is so hot right now, which is true. I'll keep this brief. For me, Sonic 2, that was always my favourite one.
Coward.
Loved it. Just because that was the one that I remember playing the most as a kid.
Absolute coward. The correct answer, and the only answers I will accept, are the Sonic Adventure battle games. Terrible games. Probably the worst games in the entire Sonic franchise.
Favourite, so yeah.
But my favourite, by far, Child Garden, take me back. Remaster Sonic Adventure Battle 1 and 2, and I will be there in the queue first, because fucking incredible, man. Incredible stuff.
You heard it here first. Of course, thanks for writing in, Colonels, and please, stay in touch. Always amazing to hear from you, man, and I hope the family are doing well. Be like Colonels, write in. Just tell us about how you're getting on with yourself, with your family, what you're playing together, playing by yourself. Always amazing to hear from you. And we've noticed a few more of you commenting on the shows on Spotify and YouTube. We see you all. We love you all, so thank you. But please, keep in touch. It's always good for us to have a wee blather with you on the internet. But I think we should move on, Scott, to our last segment for the show, which means that it's time for the Pixel Picks Showdown, where each week we each pick a game from our chosen theme and decide which one deserves to live on the hallowed Pixel Picks list, which is our definitive list of the best games we recommend and pass on to the next generation of gamers. Now, last week's theme was the best game you'll never 100%, with Skyrim becoming the latest addition to that list. And in this week's showdown, we're going to be debating what best art style game we think should feature on the Pixel Picks list. As always, last week's winner goes last. Now, am I right in saying that it was me? Because the coins favoured me.
The coin favoured you? I believe so, aye. I think you were coined the tribal thief. I stole that wee bit of juice there, but it's
You've got to acknowledge me. All these monikers coming at me. Final Dad demands it. So I will go last. So Scott, this is going to be a meaty one. Even though I walked into this, I could have picked anything. So I'm really excited to hear what you've got and how we're going to decide this one. So let's get to honourable mention and your pick, please, sir.
Honourable mention for this one is actually a game that I've already mentioned on this show, surprisingly enough.
World of Tanks.
World of Tanks 2. No, the game that I actually chose as my honourable mention for this week is actually Disco Elysium.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I'm with you.
I think that for a game itself that deals with the topic and subject matter that it actually deals with, the art style is perfect. The perfect accompaniment to that game. It lives and dies by it, and it honestly it's an excellent spectacle to look at, and a gorgeous game with not very gorgeous characters in it. However, honourable mentions out of the way. Who cares about them? That is the sheep to the lamb in that Simpsons episode. Out of the way, you. Thinking about games with the best art style, Liam, there could have only been one. Only one that's actually not on the list. I think I've tried to get it on the list a couple of times before, but the game with the best art style, Liam, and I'm excited to see how you manage to wangle your way out of this one, because you will. But the game with the best art style for me is actually Cuphead.
Yes, surprisingly not on the list. Yeah,
so horrendously not on the list. It's a game that it's quintessentially its art style. Do you know what I mean? Like that game would not hit in the exact same way if it wasn't for the art style. Every way the character moves, this whole 1930s style cell animation stuff like that, watercolor backgrounds and everything, it's gorgeous. Gorgeous to look at, and even as good looking to say that even my own offspring looks at Cuphead and says, I want to play that, and I will let her do it, and she's terrible at it, but we still try. But it's just, if you're looking for a game that the art style is part of the reason why you should play this game, which I think is part and parcel of the reason why it should be on the list, is Cuphead is a great game anyway. It's a fantastic game in the first place, but the art style, all the characters, everything you see, it is a visual masterpiece. And
crafted by hand as well.
Ridiculous. The undertaking that the people made in this game is just outrageous, but it could have only been Cuphead for me, to be honest with you. It merges that bond between gameplay and art style so well that you sometimes don't even think about it. And then you stand back and look back at it and you're like, oh my God, like living, breathing TV show in front of me.
Yeah.
Outrageous, man. Absolutely outrageous.
No, it's a great shout. I think, it's also so expertly juxtaposed to what the gameplay actually is. You would look at the first time you see Cuphead, and then I remember being surprised hearing how difficult it was, because you just weren't expecting it, which I think is genius, to be quite honest. No, a good pick. I'll tee up my two and see what we think. So my honourable mention is one that's also on the list, so I can't pick it. But I've went for honourable mention. I've selected Hades. I think this is as close to perfect an art style as you can kind of ask for in a video game. One that can give you that solid presentation whilst not coming at the cost of the gameplay. The whole graphic novel style of it. The vibrant colours they're popping against that kind of dark depths of the underworld. It's just a visual feast, and it just still to this day looks. It's a timeless quality to it, akin to Cuphead. So it's a really, really smart use of the art style there, and one that I had to go for honourable mention. I just wanted to give it a shout out just because it's already in the list, sadly, and Hades 2 isn't here yet. So my pick this week is just total recency bias, but I felt like I just had to pick it because I just wanted to just gush about it again, which of course is Clair Obscur Expedition 33. At the time, I remember saying, this game is absolutely stunning and gorgeous and modern, but the game is so breathtaking and confident in its sense of own identity of this world. I simply had to, this universe that it's kind of building for itself, the design language of it all, it's absolutely stunning. And it just does something that I still to this day, I could just look at any still from that game and just want to just sit and look at it. But I do immediately concede this one to Cuphead in saying that, because I just feel that it's probably more distinct in that regard, because you could also argue, I think Expedition 33 has a better art direction than an art style case, but up against Cuphead with the hand crafted elements of that, it would just be downright insulting to not give it to them after that, to be honest. I'm sure you don't disagree, but I still wanted to just celebrate Expedition 33. I almost had too much choices this week, to be honest.
100%. Hades was high up in my list as well, and shockingly didn't even think about Expedition 33.
Maybe thought about like Okami.
Never played Okami though. I tried. Oh. I did try. I really did try. I've got it on the Switch, but I could never be arsed.
It's on the Switch.
It's on the Switch, you're correct. But yeah, Expedition 33 is bloody gorgeous. A game that's, veiled in secrecy and chaos, that they've managed to make the word gommage.
Yeah.
Like that, I'm not even going to say anything more than that. Just the word gommage means something to me now. And
yeah, it does.
It didn't before.
Yeah, there was a brief moment at Opening Night Live where they brought them out just to do an acoustic rendition. Excuse me a second. Acoustic rendition of the main theme from Clair Obscur.
Mm-hmm.
And it was absolutely stunning. It really was gorgeous, and it just reminded me how special that game was. But we're not here to talk about it. We're going to talk about Cuphead. So how do you feel, Scott? You've finally broken the streak, Cuphead.
Finally done it. Finally done it.
Edition.
It feels like it was, it's been a long time coming. I'd really like to thank the Academy, my family, God, Cuphead, obviously.
Cuphead himself.
My fans, all the fans, you know who you are. And, I'm proud of what we've done here.
Yeah, no, that's a fantastic shout. Yeah, no,
Cuphead's great. Go play Cuphead.
Yeah, go play Cuphead. Yeah, if you've got Game Pass, something, go check it out, man. It's a good old time. It'll absolutely be ripping your hair out, but it is actually, it's fun and it's cute, and the art style kind of engages you a little bit more. Mm-hmm. But yeah, congratulations to Cuphead. You are the latest addition to the Pixel Picks list as our best art style game. What one would have taken the cake for you? I'm intrigued to know. So leave a wee comment below and just let us know what takes the best art style game for you. Have I been robbed? Please campaign for the final Da to make sure that he gets his place retconned on this entry this week. But that, of course, brings us to the end of this week's podcast. So thank you once again for joining us. And remember to support all that small independent games media out there. So if you like what you hear and enjoyed the podcast, please share on social media, tell your friends about us, or even leave us a wee 5-star review. Anything you do helps us out and it makes a massive difference. Now, Scott, it's test time. So where can people find you online if they wish to talk about how you managed to heist the Pixel Picks Showdown this week?
You can find me on Blue Sky at lamaman.bsky.social. I'm going to my next post is going to be a review of the big arch from McDonald's. So keep an eye out for it.
Yes, you're in for a treat. I might have caved at the weekend. If you wanted to follow myself on the internet, so I've been distracted. I'm thinking about big arches now. Like, wow, that is a burger, let me tell you. If you want to follow myself, you can, of course, follow me at carmelite.bsky.social, where I will be posting all things probably in the days ahead about me wrapping things up on Death Stranding 2 as we are getting ready for Metal Gear Solid Delta, which I am very much looking forward to us discussing next week, Scott, as we get our hands on it.
Come on, man.
Busy week of games next week, man, so we'll have lots to talk about. And on that note, thank you to our producer and music man, the very talented, handsome and wonderful Mr. Sean Murray. So please go show him some big, nasty love. Check out his work on Instagram at Bare Hands Designs and online at barehandsdesigns.com. Now, you can listen to the next episode and all previous episodes on all major podcast platforms and on YouTube as well. You can also follow us on Blue Sky, should I say, at pixelparents.bsky.social, and of course write to us at pixelparentspodcast@gmail.com. But until next time, stay safe, stay sane, and thanks for listening.
Death Stranding poo.
I was robbed.